Well, first of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and telling me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find.
What's going on, people? Happy Saturday. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all staying. Sorry, my fault. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're having a great weekend so far. Hope you're all staying safe. Hope you're doing something fun, doing something productive. It's Big Nate Sports Talk. Host Nathan, back with that episode. I know it's been a couple of days since you last saw me. Before I get into the video, there is a few things I'd like to say up front. Foremost, I want to send a happy birthday shout out to comedian L. Hendricks. Happy birthday, bro. Enjoy your day. Much appreciated. Continue to do the great things you're doing on YouTube. Continue to just work hard and be great. As far as the rest of all season 9 has been uploaded on Spotify via Anchor via Spotify, excuse me. We're also on Apple Podcasts. So I'd be really appreciative if you guys leave a review for me. It helps me. It helps the podcast grow. Also, share the podcast. It's really, really much appreciated. As far as, like I said, season 9 goes, season 9 will end. Actually, will end tomorrow because the playoffs literally start next week. So this week, as of Monday and Tuesday. So tomorrow, we've got a plethora of football, basketball games. It's a must-win for a couple teams. The 7th and 8th seeds are the last 2 seeds. I could not believe it came down to game 6. The seeds going to get in the playoffs. The Minnesota Lynx lost. I think can still make the playoffs. The Mercury avoid elimination. So it's down to New York Liberty, Atlanta Dream, Phoenix Mercury, and the Minnesota Lynx. Which one of those 4 teams will win tomorrow? That is to be determined. But that's going to end season 9. So definitely be tuned in for that. The Mystics play tomorrow. I'll actually be at that game and take it from there as well. Now, in this episode, we are recapping Baltimore Ravens versus the Tennessee Titans. Game 1 preseason football's back. Glad, football's here. Also, too, I got a Washington Commanders versus the Carolina Panthers observations as well. So be tuned in for that after this episode. Couple people see in the comments. I see you, Lucinda. What's going on? I appreciate you. Happy Saturday. Sean Spencer, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. So glad football is back. Absolutely. So preseason, y'all, is always probably one of the best to me. For me, it's always the best part of football because you get to see players that were drafted or unfortunately did not get their name called. Have an opportunity to see what to expect come week 1 of the season. Some people sometimes people don't take preseason serious, but I do because somebody can always take your position. Whether I feel like if somebody's playing their ass off, is performing, doing all the little things, paying their dues, you're definitely going to make an impact on the team. And that's just how I look at preseason. I think anybody there are guys we all know the number 1 starters. They're not going anywhere, but you're looking to make to be in like a 3rd or 4th on the depth chart. You definitely are really trying to make a name for yourself. But the Baltimore Ravens played the Tennessee Titans. We defeated the Tennessee Titans 23-10. We continue our streak of preseason wins. I'll be honest. Looking at this upcoming season, biggest thing is everyone getting back healthy. I think watching last year and seeing the things that really, really were hard to watch when you have a offensive line that wasn't stable, watching your entire defense practically be nowhere to be found. So Anthony Handy, what's going on? The man, the myth. I appreciate you. Thank you. Washington's ending that streak. We'll see about that. optimistic for the young guys. A lot of young guys. I'll just get into it honestly. There's a lot of hype with this team, and I'm really liking it. My eyes coming into this game, Isaiah Likely, Mike Davis. I want to see what Huntley can do. I also want to see what some of these offensive line guys, Ben Cleveland, Ben Powers, Daniel Falele. I want to see what he looked like. Everybody really did their jobs. Couple guys that surprised me. I have it here on my list. Shamar Bridges. He really, really surprised me. I had to look him up. 6'4" wide receiver. He led us with 62 yards and a touchdown. The fact that he used his ability, he just definitely displayed that on a smaller defender. Really made some great catches. I thought Tyler Huntley looked pretty good out there. Tyler Huntley's always going to put up a good performance. Kind of the quarterback that's out there, number 8. But no, Kohler's not hurt. These guys, there was a lot of guys that we did not put out there, like Tyron Wallace. He got hurt. It was like a soft. No, that was Poche. Wallace got hurt on one play, kind of landed on his ankle the wrong way. I thought that was weird. There's a lot of guys that just didn't dress, and Kohler was one of them. This was more like the 5s and the 6s that were really out there. But, I mean, other than that, I mean, the offense did really good. Mike Davis had a touchdown. I could honestly, truthfully see J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, Mike Davis, and Justice Hill. Justice Hill, he had a good game 1. He's definitely trying to make a name for himself to stay. Tyler Wallace, I believe it was a knee sprain, and that's to be determined when he'll be back. And James Poche, he had a soft tissue injury. And then Duvernay, he had a thigh bruise, so he'd be out for a week. And then Bateman was out with soft tissue. So a lot of small nagging injuries already in the preseason. But that's not just with the Ravens. I've noticed it across the league. I think I've seen a couple guys already out for the season. Some of these guys didn't even start playing, and they're already out for the season with ACL tears. And Zach Wilson, thank God he didn't tear his ACL, thank God. But a lot of small nagging injuries. But again, I think a lot of it is just the amount of practicing. I think also too, I think just the way guys are conditioning. And also too, again, like guys I think are just going a little too hard in preseason. I get it, you're trying to stand out, make a name for yourself. I think there's some guys that are going a little too hard. But I want to get back to the running back position. That really looks a lot better than what it was. No disrespect to Devontae Freeman and Latavius Murray. They were great acquisitions. I thought they did great for us. Even though J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards didn't play, Mike Davis, he really, to me, I think he's going to be a low-key, a great pickup. Justice Hill, like I said, he looked really explosive, especially him coming off an Achilles injury a year ago as well. Nate McCreary, also too, he, in my notes I have here, he did really well. He had the longest run of the night in that game. Offensive line, I have some questions. I'm still trying to really figure out the consistency. It looks like we're going to have Jawan James playing left tackle until Ronnie Stanley's back. Lindenbaum was not out there. I believe he's also dealing with I think it's a back injury, but it's a minor back injury. He should be back soon. The center position is a little bit of a concern for me because at one point they had Ben Powers playing center.
Boom.
Yeah. That was very interesting. Ben Cleveland, who actually not a week or so ago passed his conditioning test, he looked really good out there. Falele, I think he's definitely going to be a steal for us for years to come. Looked really good out there. His size as a tackle really can make the running game a really, really good for us for years to come. He definitely showed promise at right tackle. And then, Tyree Phillips and Ben Cleveland, I have him here as under, my good list. They made some good impressions as well. So the offensive line, I just want to really see how the chemistry is going to look, because that's now completely got, you'll have Zeitler. So we all know Zeitler at right guard, that's not going anywhere. You got Morgan Moses at right tackle. That's not going anywhere. But now the question is, left tackle, which will most likely be Jawan James, left guard, and center. Those are really my two main battle positions of who's going to make the team. Now, right now, if you had to push me, it's still, I think week 1 is going to be Linderbaum. But left guard, you got Ben Powers, Ben Cleveland, Tyree Phillips. You can interchange Cleveland and Phillips and Powers, but I think legitimately Ben Powers is a left guard. Patrick McCarry, we know he's a center. He can pretty much play every position. He did most of that last year. But really it's just a small concern. It's just with the offensive line. Just want to see how these guys look in these next 2 games, chemistry-wise. But for the most part, I think they did okay. There was a lot of depth on the offensive line, and then it really showed. It was really good. Because it looks like Ronnie Stanley will not be ready week 1. So that's if. I'm saying it's about 60% if he's ready. So our punter, the guy that was drafted after the punt guy, Jordan Stout, he made his debut. He looked pretty good. We all know that he replaced the longtime punter, Mr. Sam Cook, Hall of Famer. Definitely did his job. Leg strength on a couple possessions. There's a couple hang times that the ball was up there for a hot minute. So, and he also did really well in the field goal unit. No issues there, because that definitely matters. If you can't hold the ball for Justin Tucker, it's definitely going to be a long career for you. But other than that, on the defensive side of the ball, Kyle Hamilton, to me, he was all over the place. He punched a fumble, did really good out there. Great range, his athleticism, definitely, I think, why we picked him at 14. Yes, they did score on the free edge blitz where Malik Willis kind of made everybody go one way, he went the other. And I'll get a little bit into that in a little bit with Malik Willis. Marcus Williams and Chuck Clark did not play. So, I mean, we all know those are the 2 starters, honestly, for Baltimore. But other than that, Kyle Hamilton did really good. Definitely did really good. I mean, he still needs some time to develop, but he's a 5-tool player. You see the potential, and it's there for Kyle Hamilton. I believe that. I mean, like I said, again, wide receivers right there. So Isaiah Likely. Oh my Lord, it was Likely and Shamar Bridges. They really did their jobs. Even though it's game 1, they really there's a lot of hype, especially around Isaiah Likely. Coming out of Coastal Carolina, I thought he did a really good job. There was one possession where he made a fantastic catch over a defender. He was very evasive. After the catch, chucked a couple defenders for a first down. I really think it's going to be Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Nick Boyle, and Kohler. I think those are going to be your 4 tight ends. Ben Mason also had a couple nice plays. But also, too, I can't leave out Tyler Huntley. Tyler Huntley did a really good job. He was 16 of 18 on the night. I really think he really did a really good job on that. Anthony Brown, good job, too. Other than that, I mean, it was a great performance. There's some guys that stood out. I do see some cuts probably after game 2. I got to go back and look at the 53-man roster. I will also say Geno Stone, he gets some love too, because he's definitely I can see him definitely playing around that special teams role since now Anthony Levine's gone. But other than that, it's game one. Everybody just really showed out. I mean, the fact that we rest 32 players, everyone looked good. Now, on Tennessee side, they rested 23, and they're starting. All their corners started in the first half, and again, what I had. That's an interesting number. We rested 32 compared to their 21, which tells you that Harbaugh is trying to keep all his guys as healthy as best he can. And I cannot get mad at that. But really quick, I know I'm talking about Tennessee, but just really real quick, can we please stop talking about adding a wide receiver? They're minor injuries. These guys will be back before week one. I don't really see what a Odell Beckham Jr. or Deshaun Jackson or an Emmanuel Sanders or a Cole Beasley or a T.Y. Hilton is going to do for us. I don't see that. It's not going to work. Let's stop. Let's stop. You have $9.5 million in cap. We're okay. We are really okay. These are just minor injuries. We're okay. Like, it's the end of the world with the wide receivers get injured. Oh my God. Please. We gotta get a legit receiver. Stop it. Get some help. But let's go on the side of Tennessee. So Malik Willis, if I will say this. Malik Willis definitely has promise. I think he's going to be a great quarterback in this league. At times he looked really anxious, and he's shown that he still has some growing to do. But there's discipline there, and that Mike Vrabel and that coaching staff will definitely make him tap his potential. He has the potential of being a star in this league, in my personal opinion. Some of his decision making I thought was great. I think that there's the play where he ran in for the touchdown. I thought that was great. I mean, other than that, I mean, I think just offensively, there's a little bit of inconsistency. Like, I was hoping to see Malik Willis and Treylon Burks kind of connect, but he didn't. They just was very. He said Mike Rose said inconsistency. I was very surprised that they did not connect one time, and he said it's kind of interesting that throughout training camp, I've been watching the videos on YouTube. Mike Vrabel has said nothing but praise and saying that he showed consistency. But again, it's just one game. Let's not go like, oh my gosh, like it's a preseason game. He couldn't catch the ball. So I was impressed by his overall performance. Yes. Anthony, you said, what is the prediction for the 22 record? I said they'll win 12 games. So, yes. Also, I thought I didn't really see the big deal on that. As far as the offense, like I said, for Tennessee overall, there were times where Malik did struggle to find receivers. He definitely did hold on to the ball a little bit much. I felt like he definitely took some time off the clock. He also definitely was putting the ball in situations where it's a good chance, like John Madden used to say, will get your wide receiver dead. There were good passes, but the decision making just needs some more work. The first 3 drives they went on 3 in and outs. Was it Julius Chestnut fumbled, which gave us a touchdown. But on the flip side, they had another backup that was out there. His name was Logan Woodside. He didn't do much better neither. I believe he threw, if I'm saying this correctly, he threw interception and set up Justin Tucker for, what was it, a 25-yard field goal. Julius Chestnut was your leading scorer with 44, was your leading rusher with 44 yards, and the only guy that really led the receiving core was someone, I can't think of his first name. I know his last name was like McMath, 48 yards. So, I mean, if I had to sit there and grade the Tennessee Titans right now, just in the first game, incomplete off on the offense. It's incomplete. Because that's what I would give the Tennessee Titans. On the defensive side of the ball for Tennessee, I thought they did pretty damn good. They kind of made Tyler Huntley work for it. There was a couple of times where the pocket collapsed. They definitely held us. This is the same Tennessee Titans. I had to go back and look at how they played in the preseason. They allowed 10 or fewer points on all three games. Now, the fact that he was a Christian Fulton and Caleb Farley out there, I was surprised. Then I think he had Chris Jackson and Shakar Brown. And then Chris Jackson got hurt. I remember that because what happened was that's when Shamar Bridges made the catch over him. And then, that's how he got hurt. That secondary allowed 268 yards in passing. So that's another thing. Also, too, the front seven, they did okay. They gave up 130 yards. Yes, 130 yards in rushing. I had to give that a grade. B-. Their special teams, we just had a couple field goals out there. They had 4 punts. Randy Bullock, I'm sorry, he just had the extra point. So, and they had 2 punters that split it time. So, I mean, other than that, I mean, it's one game. There's really not much to go off of it, but there was a lot of good things I did see from both sides. There is a lot of potential. If you had to ask me what I give the Ravens overall, I mean, there were some things I liked and didn't like. Like I said, the offensive line's a concern. Right now, I give the offensive line, I'll give it a C+. The running game, I'll give it a B-. Receivers, I mean, Likely and Bridges, Shamar Bridges, those guys really stood out. I'll say B-. Huntley, Brown, all really did good. I'll say they get a B- too. Special teams, B+. Defense, I'll give it a B+. But again, overall great performance. Like I said, I do expect some cuts, most likely after game 2 of the preseason. Vincent Bagel, we had from the Dallas Cowboys, got hurt, unfortunately. So he will be on IR. Bowser, Edwards, Peter, Stanley, and Darius Washington, I said Williams, are all on the physically unable to perform list at this time. So, yeah, I mean, other than that, let's see what happens in the next preseason game. I'm excited. We're actually going to Arizona on the 21st for game 2 of the preseason. So, yeah, man, other than that, it was a great preseason game. I enjoyed it. Glad to see football's back in the building. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments below, how your team did in their preseason game, if they've played already. How are you looking forward to this upcoming season? What do you like about your team? What do you expect from what do you expect from your team as a whole for this upcoming year for week 1? But until then, that's going to conclude the episode. Ladies and gentlemen, be tuned in for future episodes. Like I said, the Washington Commanders, we played the Carolina Panthers today, and painfully we lost, but that's okay. Yes, I did, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Yes. So, like I said, watch the Commanders video. That'll be up in a few minutes, and then tomorrow you're going to see a pre-recorded video from me, and then that's going to end season 9. So, again, please like, comment, subscribe, share the podcast. Thank you for those that are checking out on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. It's much appreciated. You can also, again, check it out, Big Nate Sports Talk on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Again, please leave a like. Please leave reviews. It really helps me. It helps the podcast grow. Until then, this is your host, Nathan Snell, signing off. Peace and love. Stay up.
But I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, when a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them out. Thanks for the kind words. But listen, I'm going to criticize guys that they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. If you enjoyed that episode and you want to see more content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bring your sports game on Big Nate Sports Talk.